Hey everybody, it is your girl Shadonna Mo McFall, the Mo you know, and I am back with my special guest, Dr. Denise. Hey, Dr. Denise.
Hey, Mo, how are you?
I am really good, and I know I've been apologizing, and I'm apologizing once more for the technical difficulties, the sound. I don't know what happened. I think it may have been the TV, team too much, but
Right.
team too much, but we're back.
Yes.
And we're going to bring all of the listeners and viewers the great information about tomorrow's The Power of Clarity workshop. I want to start there. I
Okay.
really want to start there. What can everyone expect? All of the people who signed up expect for the Power of Clarity workshop that you're having tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. They can expect to be, as someone said to me, transformed. And so having clarity is so powerful. I don't think people really understand that.
Mhm.
But I put it simply, like if you want to go on a trip, the travel agent, the person will ask you, where do you want to go? That's the first thing. You got to get clear, like where are you going? What are you trying to do? And so clarity is powerful because it helps to point you in the right direction. But oftentimes when I'm working with people, I say, what do you want? They're like, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to work on. I don't know.
Right.
you know. And so, but I know what that really stems from. It stems from us not really knowing who we are or wanting to say, like, this is what I really want, not what other people say I should want, not what society says I should want, but what is it that I really want? And so, during the workshop, we're going to dig deep. We're going to get to the root of really what is it that you want. But then, more importantly, Mo, we're going to teach you how to go about getting it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to know, hey, I want to go to this, I want to go to Hawaii. Great, okay. But how are you going to get there? What actions do you need to take to get to your destination? So that's why I love doing the workshop. Like I said, people who have attended it have said nothing but wonderful things about it because of the impact that it had on their life. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to do it in the morning. I'm always giddy the night before workshop because I'm excited about what's going to happen for the attendees. It's not about me.
Right.
It's about me facilitating the conversation, me helping them to get to what it is they want to get to. So I'm so excited about it.
I am excited about it too because I hear so many people. That's the number one thing I hear when I'm talking to my clients and people who are not even clients. You know how we always make the joke, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. We're 30 or 40 years old, still trying to figure out and that's okay.
Yes, yes,
That's okay. As long as you want to be something,
exactly.
as long as you want to be something, there is people like Dr. Denise that can help you get there, guys. I tell folks this all the time. Like I said, I'm a professional navigator. You see, we have the big old map right here.
Yes,
There's a whole world out here that you can
yes,
get to. But like Dr. Denise said, like, hey, it's going to be planes, trains, automobiles. You can't get on a plane. You can't get in the car and drive to Hawaii. So if you thought you was going to do that, no, that's not what we do here.
right.
Because what I see too is a lot of times people don't they have something in their mind, but they don't know that they can't do that. Like, no.
Yeah.
So what do you tell? How do you break it down to people? I'm pretty sure because you're very nice. I've never seen you get. I don't even see you having that mean demeanor. So how do you break it down to tell people, hey, yeah, I know you. That's cute, but no, you know.
Well, I will say I am a little different, just
Okay.
slightly different when I'm coaching people or when I'm working, only because I don't take it for granted that people are this is their life. You know
Right.
what I mean? This is someone's life. This is them, and I don't take it lightly. And so I do ask for permission before I coach people
Okay.
because it might get a little uncomfortable. But the things that I ask, the things that I do, it's not. It's only because I care and because I know what it takes to get people to go deeper.
Right.
And so I tell people I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. But sometimes I am trying to make people uncomfortable,
Yeah.
so that they can really take a look at what's going on inside of them because we don't really take the time to do that. So I feel like if you're going to sign up, register, take your time to come to the workshop, I really want you to leave with what you need to leave with. And so that may mean me saying, hey, wait a minute. Well, you said this,
Yeah.
but this is what this really is. So what somebody told me recently, I didn't realize it, but I have been a speech language pathologist for over 25 years, and my job is to listen to people.
Mm-hmm.
And so people will say stuff, and I'm like, well, that's not what you said. I heard what you said. That's not what you said. And they were like, what? So I really pay attention. I really listen to what people say. And I said, well, you said you wanted this, but what you're saying now does not align with that. What is
Absolutely.
that about? And so that sometimes we have our own words have to be reflected back to us for us to really understand what it's about so that we can get clear again on exactly what we want. Another example I like to use when I'm working with clients is the whole thing going to a restaurant and placing your order.
Yeah.
The waiter comes up to you and say, may I take your order? And you might say, he's like, what do you want to drink? You're like, I don't know. Well, he can't bring you that. He'll ask you, do you want water? Do you want iced tea? Do you want with lemon? You get very specific, you know? Okay, do you want an entree? No. Okay, well, what do you want to what's your main course? You know, okay, I want a burger. How do you want it prepared?
Yeah.
You know, they ask very specific questions to get down to what exactly do you want. I like my burgers medium well. I like a little pink, not too much, but I don't want it well done. So we get very specific in restaurants. So we got to get the same way in life. Life is going to serve you what you ask for. If you don't know what you want, it ain't going to give it to you. So getting clear is so, so powerful. And so I love doing workshops. Like I just love talking to people like, well, what do you want? What is it that you really want? What lights your heart up? What do you really want? Not what people say that we should want. That's the key.
Absolutely. And I absolutely love that restaurant analogy because I was a server
Ah,
while I was in the military, and I love serving, but I was like,
yes,
serving is for 20-year-old Mo, not 40-year-old Mo.
right,
I'm still good at it, but
right.
you got to carry all those things, and I can write the order down and do all of the things. But you are absolutely right. I tell people, hey, we got everything. Like, but see, especially with PR,
Yeah,
we have everything that you want in the kitchen. You can have everything you want. How do you want us to prepare it? And number
yeah,
two, and it's like, okay, well, you want this, but this is how much it's going to cost.
yeah,
You want half, because I told you I work at the news. I actually got to go pick up newspapers tonight. Like, we can give you that. You can have the whole front page. You can
yeah.
have half a page. It's like, okay, where do you want to be? And what are you willing to pay for? Because that's another thing, that
Mm.
people have all these grand ideas that they want this and that, and they don't think about, okay, what are the costs? What are all of the logistics that go along with getting the thing that you want? Because we can make it happen. We
Yeah.
can definitely make it happen if you're willing to do that work.
And so when you say willing to pay for it, it's not just financial that I know you understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's the time, it's the energy, it's the effort. Everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants to shine. But are you willing to do the time and put in the effort to get to that point? Everybody just see the end result. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, oh, they see, oh, Dr. Denise has her PhD. Yeah, but you don't know the 4 and 5 years that it took me to get there. You don't know the late hours I had to stay up after I came from my office and had to sit up at night and do homework on the
Mm-hmm.
weekends, giving up my weekends for years
Yeah.
just so I can get the work done, to make sure I turn my assignments in, to make sure my GPA was what I needed it to be. So yeah, you see the end result, but you don't know the backstory. You don't know all the time and energy and effort that went into just getting that particular thing. So yeah, are you willing to pay? And then the financial cost on
Yeah.
top of that. So are you willing to pay the price? You can have it, but yeah, you got to pay the cost.
And I know I told you how every time I get excited when I see people with the letters in front of their names and the letters after their names, because that's one of the things I know is they completed it. I
Yeah,
get so excited when people complete things.
yeah,
People be like, well, I'm not impressed with degrees and all that, and that's fine.
right.
But the fact that she went through 8+ years, because I don't have a degree, I don't have a
Yeah.
PhD, but I'm pretty sure you did at least 8 years to get there. and you
Yes.
completed it. So that's
Yeah.
the thing. People don't, they'll start something, they'll have all these great ideas, but do
Yes.
not want to see things through to completion.
Absolutely. That is one of my that's one of my pet peeves with people. It's like don't start something you're not going to finish. But so my lesson came when I was probably about 7 to 8 years old. It was one summer. I wanted to play softball, recreation softball. I want to get on the softball team. And so I begged my daddy to let me play, sign me up for softball for the summer. He was like, okay. And so on top of that, I'm left-handed. So he needed to go find me a left-handed glove. Well, that wasn't easy to find. And so I went to a couple of practices, and I was like, "Oh, it's hot out here." I didn't want to. I didn't want to play. Right after a couple of practices, I'm like, "Oh, I'm done with this." Right.
Hmm.
So I remember coming home and telling my mother, like, "I'm done with softball," and she was like, "Okay." And so I hear when my dad comes home, I hear my mother telling me, "Hey, you need to go talk to your baby girl. She's talking about quitting softball." And I know my daddy thinking like, "Nah, I don't want all I'm trying to find this glove and get this stuff for this girl. She talking about quitting." So anyway, he came to me. He said, "Your mama told me you was thinking about quitting." So I said, "Yeah, daddy. I don't think I want to do it anymore." And he said, "Well, I tell you what." He said, "Do me a favor." He said, "Go out there one more time. Just give it one more chance." And he said, "Well, how about this? How about you just finish out the season and you don't never have to play ever again?" I said, "All right, you got a deal." So I went back, finished the season. Guess what happened? My team was number one that year.
Oh wow.
I got the trophy
Me
and I got the chance to be in the newspaper. Hold up, number one. All because I
too.
finished. All because I finished. So my favorite thing is winners never quit and quitters never win.
Right.
You can't quit on it. And so I still have the newspaper clipping. So I was in the newspaper holding up my little number one with my trophy and my team. I didn't quit.
Absolutely. And that's
Yes.
everything. That I remember I have a I don't didn't quit story too. I remember I went into the military. My auntie, I wanted to quit. So me and my aunt
Mhm.
Zena, she had already did the military thing. And we was
Uh-huh.
actually in the newspaper the same day because she was in warrant officer school the
Uh-huh.
same time I was in basic training. So, get through basic was hard. I didn't quit. I
Yeah.
wanted to, but so a couple
Yeah.
years, every time I get mad and get frustrated and they start getting on my nerve, I'm calling home. I say, Mom, they getting on my nerve. I hate it here. I want to come home. And Mom's like,
Right.
okay, baby, come on home. Call Auntie. Auntie. She's like, no, baby girl. She didn't say get the bag, stick to, you want to
Yeah.
secure the bag because they weren't
Right.
saying that back then. But
Right.
she was saying if you finish, you're gonna get this check for the rest of your life. And I'm like, okay. That's why I came in, and that every time I thought about quitting, I would call her and she would say no. And then I remembered, Mo, you came in to get the bag. So whatever you do, let them get on your nerve, whatever. They temporary.
Yeah.
I'm temporary. This base is temporary. Everything is temporary. Finish and get to the bag because that's where the money reside at the completion.
Yes. And it's so good. I'm happy to hear your story, even as I reflect on my story, that we have people around us to encourage us to keep
Mm-hmm.
going. It's so important
Yep.
who you surround yourself with, especially when things get hard and you want to quit. I remember I wanted to quit my PhD. I was 2 years into it, and I was like, I'm done. I don't need
Mm-hmm.
this. And was talking to a really, really good friend of mine. And she said, well, you can do that. She said, but 2 years from now, 2 years is going to come and go. She said, at least 2 years from now, have something to show for it.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, good point. I think I'm gonna finish."
And you know what I love about even before you can finish? It's good to have people around you that's going to encourage you to start.
Oh
Because if
yeah.
you don't start, you can't. And that's
Oh,
what I see more people, they won't get
that's
started.
good. That is the truth. Wow. Yes.
So even
Yeah.
with this show, I remember I wanted, before COVID, I wanted to have the sit down and my Oprah
Mhm.
chairs and do all of the thing in somebody's studio. And then COVID
Yeah.
came and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. Everybody do, I was just like tripping. But it was just like I had friends who were like, Mo, just start. You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And listen, I feel like I'm in my second season. having people
Yeah.
around you to make sure you get started. Not I don't want to say to make sure you get started. You have to start it. No, I want to be clear. It ain't
Sure.
nobody else's responsibility for you to start and for you to
Right.
finish. Let's be clear. But having
Yes.
those people, having those cheerleaders around you, like you got this, makes a lot of difference.
And that is so true. Because I know for me when I first started my business, that I had a lot of self doubt, but there were a lot of people, but particularly my brother, Kelvin. He was the one who, like, sis, you got this. You can do it. I believe in you. So the fact that he believed in me more than I believed in myself in the
Hmm.
beginning helped me to say, okay, well, if he think I can do it, then let me give it a shot. And so it's just important that you just surround yourself with people to help you in the beginning, the middle, the end, whatever point in the journey that you need that encouragement. It's just so important to have people around you that's going to cheer you on along the way.
Absolutely. But like I said, it is so up to you. Like I said, the Mo
Absolutely.
can cheer you on, Dr. Denise can coach
Absolutely.
you, but at the
Yes.
end of the day,
Oh, yeah.
what happens is what you decide to do. You're the part that you're going to execute on, the phone calls you're going to make, the emails
Yeah.
you're going to send, the money that you're going to put away.
Yes.
So that's the biggest thing that I want people to understand always, because I hear so many people trying to deflect. Well, I didn't get this and such didn't come through on that. Do you know how many other people do the same thing that you waiting on this person to do?
Yes.
And I know
Oh,
sometimes our loyalty to
yeah.
people keep us stuck too.
Oh, yeah.
They okay, guys. I know you want to work. I know they're your favorites,
Hmm.
but if they not available, who's that backup?
Absolutely. That's a good point. That at the end of the day, like you said, it's up to you whether or not you're going to be successful or not. You're going to put in the time, the energy. But the bottom line is find people who are going to support you. I had to learn early on in my business career as well that, I can be loyal and I can be there for people, but I had to learn how to navigate it and how to
Mhm.
renegotiate some terms of the agreement
Right,
in the
absolutely.
relationship and set some boundaries as well, and with people, friends, and family, so that it's a win-win for all of us, and not me just always overextending myself and being loyal to people who weren't loyal to me. And so, but that comes with growth. That
Yeah.
comes with just evolving as a person, and then understanding what you're willing to stand for, what you're willing to put up with. Early in my business, I was like, I just want any client, come, 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 come. Now, girl, woo.
Girl,
Mm-mm. Nope. I just had to turn away some clients this past week. I was like, this is not going to work. I said I would advise you find someone else who can better fit your needs, because I can't offer you what you're looking for. I'm so okay with that.
you it's so funny because for me right now too, because I
Uh-huh.
think you and I had this conversation. Me being in the military, we had to do everything, anything that the commander, the first sergeant asked
Right.
of us, we had to deliver on that. And with me, I'm still in that military mindset.
Mm,
That hey, yeah, I can do that, but I know I had a coach to say, just because you can do it don't mean you should do it.
that's right.
So, and that's where I am now,
Absolutely.
because and I'm not a people pleaser, but I'm like, yeah, I can do that, no problem. But that's not the focus. That's not, how they say focus on the
Mhm.
one thing. The
Yeah.
one thing that I really want to be doing is these interviews, and making sure that I get other people to do interviews, not just with me, but my interviews are the foundation. Then when
Yeah.
people see you on my show, then they're like, oh, Dr. Denise is a great guest, and all of the things.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I want to really focus on. Like, yes, I'm gonna make sure everybody gets all the visibility.
Sure.
I see Tam is watching. Hey, Tam from the Exposure TV Network. We're
Yay.
about to pivot to that. Dr. Denise has a show on Tam's network, so I'm
Yes.
so excited. The Amazing Life Project. Oh my God, Dr. Denise. So how did that come about?
So the story is, I was meditating, talking to the Lord, and I was like, "Oh Lord, use my life. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes to anything, whatever you want me to do." And so later on that day, the person brought to me the information about having a show on the mogul channel, Exposure Network. I was like, "Not that, Lord. No, not that. Uh-uh." I'll say yes to other stuff, but not that. He was like, I thought you said you would say yes. And so I said to the person, I said, I want to say no, but I will say yes. I said,
Yes.
just give me a minute to process it. And I am so glad I said yes.
Yeah.
So it has just been an amazing journey thus far. So again, the show is called the Amazing Life Project. And the premise of the show is to bring on people to show other people what's possible.
Right.
I think a lot of times we have these dreams, but we think like, is that really possible? Can I really do that? But when you see someone else who has done it and they're doing it well, it's like, oh, they did it, then I can do it too. I talk about like I have one brother and three sisters. I'm the youngest of five. One of my sisters has a PhD. So I saw her do it. So it wasn't so far fetched for me to
Hmm.
say, well, oh, I can do that too. And people have been in business, so I'm like, oh, she did that. Oh, I can do that too. And so I just want people to understand the amazing life they want to create for themselves. It's possible. So I want to bring on the experts, the gurus that can really give them the tips and the strategies about how to go about doing it. So yes, it's possible, but then we need to know, well, how do you do that? And these people on the show can tell you exactly how to do that. So I'm so excited. I did an interview today with a wonderful person. So I just can't wait for the audience to see the interviews and to learn more about the guests that I've had on the show.
Absolutely. I am so excited. And I know you do your Think About It Thursdays too. And you said you've been doing that for 4 years.
4 years. I've been
Talk
doing Think
about
About It Thursday.
consistency. People, that's what it takes. Consistency.
Woo! Think About It Thursday. When I was first working with my business coach, she was like, "You need to get online. You need to be visible, more visible." I was like, "I don't want to do that." And so she was like, "You got to do it." I was like, "Okay." So we landed on, okay, let me do it on what she said. What day do I was like, let me do Thursdays. That's probably my less busy day.
Mhm.
At the case, there wasn't. It was then, but not now. But I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Thursday. And I said, I'm just gonna get on just for a few minutes. I call it inspiration and motivation, so you can
Mhm.
take real action. And so I just come to give people something to think about, like think about this and think about that. How does this relate to you? And so someone once asked me, well, how do you come up with topics every week? I was like, well, basically, it's me, it's my life, it's me
Right.
thinking. It's me thinking. It's stuff that's happened to me that caused me to think, and then I try to use that lesson to help bring in a point or a lesson that I think we all need to understand. One of my favorites recently was I work with young children, providing speech therapy, and with one of the girls, she wanted to get a toy off the shelf. I knew she could reach it because she's reached it before, but she wanted me to get it. And so she act like she couldn't reach it. I'm just like, you can reach it, you can get it. And so when I did not get up to get it, she rolled her eyes at me. She's 3, and she rolled her eyes at me because I didn't get up and get it, right? And I just thought it was funny, but I was like, you haven't lived until a 3-year-old has rolled their eyes at you. But I said to her, I said, if you want it, I looked at her, I said, if you want it, you are going to have to get it. And that's what we talked about a minute ago. If you want it, you are going to have to go and get it. As soon as I said that, she reached for the toy, got it, and sat down and started playing.
Girl, that's a whole trigger. I go through that every day with my 8-year-old. He's like,
Yeah.
"Mommy, I can't. We had some. I'm sitting at the bar. I had some Slim Jims yesterday. And I just be
Uh-huh.
telling all this business. But he did not want to get his butt off of that chair and come get the Slim Jim. I'm like, well, you won't eat today, bro. You won't eat you ain't that hungry. You ain't that thirsty. Because I make sure that I can get him things that do. Because I
Sure.
want him. I want everybody to be self-sufficient.
Yes.
Self-sufficient. I don't want
Yeah.
anybody to ever
Okay.
have to wait on anybody for anything.
Yes. 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 But it's that lesson that so when that happened, it made me think. I was like, oh, I'm talking about that. I'm thinking about it Thursday. I was like, oh, oh yeah. Just like if we want something, especially like you said, it's in our reach. It's up to us to go about grabbing it and getting it, and not waiting on someone else to get it. She wanted me to get up and give it to him. Like, you can get it yourself. I'm not going to get it for you. If you couldn't get it, sure, I would help you, but you can do it yourself.
And that's the thing, when you started the story, you was like, you know that she can do it. It's just like, I see people that's done all of these phenomenal things. Is then I'm like, yo, you did that before. I saw that. I don't went through your page. I done
Yeah.
Googled you. I know you can do it. So why you want to play with me?
Right.
Like, I know what you can do. I already
Yeah.
seen it. So now you want to play me for boo boo the fool, like you can't do it. Like, no, we don't do that here. That's my new
Yeah.
thing. We don't do that here. We don't do fear here. We don't do none of that here. Yes, we're scared. Yes,
Sure.
we've never done it before. But guess
Yes.
what? There's somebody out there that's done it before. There's somebody out there that can walk us through it. There's somebody out there that knows how to do the exact thing that we want to do.
And then you have to learn to do it afraid, you know?
Yeah.
And again, I get a lot of lessons from young kids, you know, that's why I use them a lot of
Mhm.
times in my conversations and my talks. But they might be like, I'm afraid. I'm like, it's okay to be afraid, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm here to help you. And so
Yeah.
I don't know why sometimes we become, when we become adults, we let fear just really take over and it stops us in our track. I am afraid a lot of times, but I told myself, you can be afraid, but you still have to do it. You can
Mhm.
still do it. Do it afraid. Learn what you need to learn along the way, but don't allow fear to stop you. Because I know there have been many times in my life, Mo, I allow fear to stop me.
Mhm.
So I was determined not to let that continue to happen in my life. It's like, yeah, I can be afraid. I'm not sure. There's some self doubt there, but you guess what? Do it anyway. Go for it anyway. You'll be okay. Your world is not going to end. It's going to be all right.
It's I
It's
know
going
one
to
of
be
the
okay.
things people, always tell me is when I say, when I work, these civilian jobs, they're like, Mo,
Yeah.
you was in the military. There's nobody even shooting at you. There's nobody even trying to kill you. What are you scared of? I'm like, yeah, you're right. But there's still that fear. There's still that, I
Sure.
hate to say it, that fear of failure. That fear of, for me, it's the
Sure.
fear of rejection. It's like, dang,
Absolutely.
what if nobody comes? What if nobody watches? No, what if nobody does the things? But one of the things that I have to keep telling
Mhm.
myself and that I know is like, once you put the content out,
Yeah.
especially in this DVR world that we live in now, nobody
Yeah.
really, not saying people don't watch the lives, because I see we have the viewers coming and going and doing the things. Hey, Dr. Maxine. But it's like, okay, we're still watching, I'm still watching episodes of Good Times that was created and produced before I was even born. And once we get this stuff done, it's like, okay, guys, we can use it, repurpose it, do all of the things, but we gotta get it done.
And I think that's the key. That's the key for me that keeps me going. I had to learn a long time ago to count the small wins.
Mm-hmm.
And so if for me it was like if one person shows up, that's a win because that one person makes a difference. And so years ago I had to really redefine success for myself
Mm-hmm.
and not let external factors determine what success looked like for me, because when I did that I felt defeated. I
Yeah.
felt like I wasn't making progress. I felt like things weren't happening. But I was like, Denise, you define it for yourself. So a
Yeah.
lot of times my success, even with this, is like I showed up.
That's my win. If I'm here on time,
I'm
that's
here.
all I need. Hey, I said
Yes,
six
I
o'clock.
get
We
it.
start on time. That's the win.
That's a win. That is a
My win
win.
is starting on time. No
Yes,
matter, I show up and I start on time. Everything else, I'm like, all right, well, I did what that's the win for me. So I love the small wins.
the small. I mean, you have to. If you don't, then because sometimes it's going to take a lot to get to the big win. And so,
Yeah.
so if you don't understand the small wins of what's going to give you that fuel along the way to help with the big wins, you'll stop. I think that's what stops a lot of people, it's because they haven't reached the big win yet. And so it's like, but get the small ones and they're going to add up for you. And I first learned that lesson, Mo, when I started out with speech therapy. And I had a little boy who was nonverbal. I think he was probably like 5 or 6 years old, and he couldn't talk.
Mhm.
And so we established the goals, so that the goal was to get him to say at least 10 words, right? And so after a few weeks, he hadn't even said one word. And I was kind of like, oh man, this isn't working. I don't know what to do. Maybe it's something with me, all of that stuff. And then finally I said, let me count the small wins. So one day he was able just to smile and turn his head when I call his name. That was a win because weeks ago he wasn't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so bit by bit, I was like, oh, okay, now I got his attention. Great. And so a couple of weeks later, he was able to imitate a sound. Great. So it took months and months and months before he got to saying one word, but I was counting the wins along the way, and it
Mm-hmm.
made me excited. It made his family excited. And so that's what kept this going. So I have to use that now with business. It's like, okay, I didn't hit my goal with this, but what did I hit? Okay, I did the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody did pay. Somebody did come. We did it. And so I counted all wins, and so that it keeps me going, and I don't get discouraged and feel defeated.
Absolutely. I love it. And I know I keep saying in the military because I spent so much time in the
Yeah.
military. I was an information manager in the military where we had to document everything. So
Mhm.
I just started documenting, my things and all of that. So at my last base at Cannon Air Force Base, I had a captain. He wanted us to document our wins. Every Friday we had to turn in what did we accomplish
Mhm.
for the week. So he was like two or three things. And you know me, I'm all extra. I had all of my work stuff, all of my most, because I was the time, when I'm still doing most heroes, I had my nonprofit stuff.
Yeah.
I had like a whole one sheeter of all of the things that I did. I know he was like, I didn't ask you for all that, but you know what? I did that. You're gonna see. You're gonna see my greatness.
Yeah. Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
so once you see it on paper, and that's and another thing, once
Hmm.
you, like I said, write it down and you're keeping track
Yes.
and you reflect on it, because even with my clients now, we talk about, okay, well, what did we do? Because sometimes it don't look like nothing happened, and then we start going through this and what's still
Hmm.
pending, and but it's like, dang, we did do a lot. Yeah, if you're not tracking it, you're not paying attention to it,
Yes.
you're not gonna know, or you're not gonna
Every.
see it. So like, write it down. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we did that. So I'm a big proponent of celebrating the wins, celebrating people, celebrating every little thing.
You have to. I know at the end of each year, I do year in review
Mm-hmm.
where I write down all my wins. But one of the things I started, and so you just reminded me. I think I'm gonna start back. I had at the beginning of the year, I got this jar with a lid on it, and so my goal was to write down my wins and put it in the jar because I'm visual. I need to
Mm-hmm.
see it, and so I have a few of the things in there. But when I look at it, it was like those are your wins in that jar. Fill up the jar.
Yeah.
And so to look at it was like, well, all is not lost. You are making some progress. You are getting some things done. And again, it's important because it gives you that fuel and that motivation and inspiration to keep going. The key is to keep going no matter what, to be consistent. When I first started out with Think About It Thursday, I probably had one or two people on there. But I was like, keep going. And over the years, it has grown. People, like I said, people go watch the replays and
Mm-hmm.
make comments. So it's just a matter of just keep going, keep doing it, keep showing up because the consistency really is the key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the thing is, the more visible you become, now that more people know you, they're going to go back and look and see.
Yeah,
And sometimes people be like, man, you was digging in my stuff. You looking at people clicking on old pictures. But sometimes that's what Facebook is showing them. You don't know
yeah.
what Facebook is showing people. It's like you don't know. They're not stalking you. That's just what's on their timeline.
Yeah, somebody actually said that to me today. Said, "Oh, I went and looked you up and saw your stuff." I was like, "Okay, good." So I'm thinking, well, I'm glad with some stuff to see.
And that's the one thing, not the one thing, that's the main thing. People are going to Google you once they find.
Yeah,
That's why on the show, I don't even tell people, I don't read those long bios because I'm like, you
right.
know what? Go Google them. Go Google them.
Absolutely.
Go vet them for yourself. Go see the wins. Go see all of the things that they've already done.
Yeah.
So you'll know for yourself, because I can say all of the great things, how amazing you are, but nah, Dr. Denise got receipts. Go check out the receipts. Go look at them receipts for yourself.
Love it, love it, love it.
So I know, like I said, this time is gone by so fast, but
Oh
I
my God.
absolutely love talking to people. If I could talk to people all day, I would.
Me
Because this is
too.
absolutely. And
I
it's
love
so
it.
funny because I used to stutter. I didn't have a real bad speech impediment, but I was
Hmm.
always nervous, and I couldn't say my STR words. And I know I
Wow.
went to Toastmasters, And that's how people are like, Mo, why are you so confident and natural? I'm like, Lord, I don't know, because I was not that one. But I
Wow.
think when I had all of this extra time in New Mexico, I'm like, okay, well, they got Toastmasters at 7 o'clock, on Tuesday nights. So I ain't had nothing else to do Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. So I would
Yeah.
ride downtown and do Toastmasters. So I was like, okay, shout out to Toastmasters.
Yeah. That is great.
So, Dr. Denise, I just want to go ahead and wrap this up and remind everybody, if you have not signed up for the Power of Clarity workshop, I know you said their seats were limited.
Yes.
So, guys, if they can't get to this one, will there be another one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But
When?
guys,
I
you
don't
want to
know, but
listen,
yes.
like I said, you're gonna have that little stimmy money gonna hit tonight. So go ahead,
Yes.
go ahead and get clear. So I know me and Dr. Denise was joking before how everybody's waiting on this stimmy money. I'm like, I don't never, like I said, I'm always going to take the stimmy money,
Right.
but I'm like, I don't want to be waiting on it. I want to be clear
Right.
so I can take the stimmy money and do something that's going to put me in position. So next time I'm not waiting or want, it'll be nice.
Exactly.
But doing something for the business, doing something that's like,
Mhm.
let's not blow them. I know people still gonna blow the money. They still gonna do what they want to do with it. But I'm being serious here, guys. Do something smart
Yeah.
with the STEMI money. Take this workshop with the STEMI money, so you can be clear to make more money with your STEMI money. At the end of the day, use it. We always talk about flipping it. Flip your knowledge, man.
Absolutely.
Flip it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so and
I
I'm
love
so
it.
serious about that. I know I joke
Yeah.
and play sometimes, but I'm like, man, if I get this whole 2,800, I'm about to do some stuff for the business. We gonna have new graphics, new this. Y'all gonna be like, oh, new mode. Y'all gonna be like, oh, the clients gonna, man, listen. Now let me stop. It is gonna be. I am gonna be smart with it. I am. It's not gonna
Sure.
be some fool. We talked about foolishness last time.
Right.
It's not gonna. It might be a little bit of foolishness, but
Yeah.
at the end game, it's gonna be something that I can keep making some money from for the next time.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know when we might get another stimmy. So y'all be smart about it.
Mhm.
Be smart about it. So, Dr. Denise, please give everyone your social media handles. I have your website ticking across the screen so they can go to the website and book their clarity call. But if they want to follow you on social media, please give them your social.
Sure. You can follow me at Dr. Denise on Your Amazing on Facebook. And on Instagram, I think I'm Dr. Denise Moore.
Okay. And like I said, y'all can Google Dr. Denise and it will come up. You will see all of the accolades, all of the wins, all of the books, all of the workshops, all of the clients she has
Yeah.
transformed. Because like we said on the call the other night when we was doing this call, like we're gonna have an amazing summer. It's gonna be, we didn't have no summer last year, but I don't want to tell y'all in the middle of the summer, y'all see me out doing all the things because I
Right.
done worked with Dr. Denise and we done had this having this amazing life. And y'all like, dang, Mo ain't
Right.
told me nothing. Yes, I did. I told y'all to work with Dr. Denise so you can have a hot girl summer too, or a hot boy summer too.
I know that's right. I love that.
All right, Dr. Denise. Once
Oh,
again, thank you so much for coming back. And like I said, the sound was, you was right. The sound didn't fail us. Video was
yay.
clear. Everything's
Yeah.
good. We had some people watching. We had some likes, some love, some comments.
Yay.
So thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, and tag somebody. Tell somebody about Dr. Denise. Tell somebody to watch Think About It Thursday because, the help is there, guys. Let's get clear and let's go. I'll see you guys next week. Bye, Dr. Denise.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.